you are gonna see some cool ass shit.
Yeah, you don't want two flavor plays.
Heart transplants, brain surgeries. I've seen it all.
Dude, that's fucking dope.
Walk up and just get it, whatever it is.
Yeah, brother.
I'm trying not to laugh, bro, but Josh is fucking killing me.
Guess what Navy SEALs do, motherfucker? They communicate and they're on the same fucking page.
Whoa. Old nugget.
Wow. There we go. Wow. So
Hey.
I just got that whole speech to myself.
Well, God's got a sense of humor, don't he?
Dude.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's working though. Dude. I didn't even do the audio check at the start, man. I totally spaced it. Jeez, man. Cause
You were doing too much. I told you were distracted.
Dude. Well, no, I knew Zack was gonna be joining later, so I didn't even bother with messing with the audio.
That's all.
Dude. Well, no, and also I saw the bars moving when the intro was going.
Oh yeah, because it was probably our intro's audio. Nice. Hey, that's all good. Well, everybody, welcome to the show.
That was a good that was a good podcast. We'll see y'all later.
Yeah, we just had our own fucking show. That was the Kemper Josh half hour.
That's all right. We can just talk about something else. They didn't.
Hey, bro. Yeah. Well,
we'll just act like that didn't even happen.
There's a lot of discoveries that are going on and taking place.
Yeah, we're taking life journeys over here, me and Kemper.
Yeah, across the board. But really, it's that life is becoming more and more fun. And the more that you share in the fun, even in little ways, if it's just giving a penny to people and saying, here, good luck penny.
Yeah.
What that does for your life is it's a seed of change, within yourself that you're planting in someone else's life as a ripple of joy. And if you go about your life in that way, investing in other people, and by investing in what it gives to you, there's self-satisfaction in knowing that you help brighten somebody's life up a little bit.
Oh, another thing, we might have to do the intro again.
Fuck it. You guys already know, and if you don't, you fucking should, Shmuley. All right, this is Kemper Woodruff and Josh Taylor, the happy hoodlum and the baby hoodlum, out here doing what we do.
Happy hoodlum, baby hoodlum. What's up? That's how we do. That's how we do.
Yeah, no, man. I kind of
good start to the podcast. We had no audio.
We were warming up on our own. I don't know. I gave him his own lecture.
That's a good warm up. Yeah.
He's got his brain in the crock pot.
Oh yeah. Sure. Yeah, totally. I guess.
For lack of a better
make sense, but all right.
But dude, I've also kind of looked at like being of service, and what people
the act of giving is it's kind of like a ritual in its own. I don't know. It kind of does something to you.
And even like different things, because I kind of looked at stuff like I work at a shop, and
I don't know what that a shop for what.
Well, I work at a gun store now. I used to work at a dispensary, and in both places there would be people that would come in and like to kind of wheel and deal and haggle. You know what I mean?
And like, can I get this $1 cheaper?
Yeah, and I've started to kind of look at it and see things differently because I'm observing as I'm interacting now, right? And I'm trying to be more free flowing in the energy and not just say no. Like, I don't want to deny somebody because I think that it's tacky for someone to come in and do this. In reality, like, I shouldn't be so judgmental of someone's feeling that they're entitled as much as I should kind of feel where that entitlement is actually coming from. If it's like a genuine place, generally you kind of want to, like, if the person's an enjoyable person and this is like they're giving you even though they're asking for a discount on the price, they're giving something to you in the way that you interact, you know?
Yeah.
Um, because they're not like one of those people where you're like, oh, I got to help this guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I had a dude come into the shop today and he was kind of perusing and I was helping him and he was seeming like he didn't want to buy anything, but he was just an enjoyable dude to kind of talk to. And as I was talking to him, he was kind of like he came in probably just to look around initially, and he seemed kind of like on this level. Wasn't having like the greatest day, but wasn't,
He just
like
yeah.
having a
He's
bad day. He was kind of chilling, right?
yeah.
And I was just kind of observing and talking, shooting the shit with him. And he just started having like more and more fun. And we were looking around. I started showing him revolvers and stuff. And he was like, "Oh yeah, I used to have like an FFL, which is like a federal firearms license." So he used to sell
Yeah.
guns himself. And he was like, "Yeah, I had this awesome gun, and it was like this big ass like 454 Casull, and it's like that's like a big bullet and stuff,
Yeah.
and those big magnums and shit." And so we were just talking, and it dawned on me. I was like, because he was looking at prices, and he was like, "Oh, I can't do that. I can't do that." I was like, he mentioned this one model, right? He's
Yeah.
like, "Man, I used to have a Raging Hunter, right?"
Yeah.
And he was like, "Man, that so shoot," but to my like, hold on, because I just realized, and we just started taking in used guns again because the background checks are like 22,000 people in line, so you got to wait for that gun to clear to show that it was never used in a crime before we can actually,
Wow.
and so there's this whole thing about possession and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So uh, he comes in, and this gun must have like just got there within like maybe a day or two. And I ran over and I found it, and it was a gun that is a nice gun for like 450 bucks, right? And he starts haggling with me a little bit, and he's talking with me. He's like, can I get it for like 400? And I was like, nah, that's not happening, right? Because we still have to make markup and things like that. And really,
Yeah.
on an energetic level, he seemed like he didn't believe what he was asking, you know?
Yeah.
Um, and he was like, "Come on, maybe just waive the background fee or something like that." He was like, "It's probably still like $10." And it was almost like the fact that this dude believed in it that I was like, at first, rather than me just being like, "No," I was like, "You know what, man?" And this kind of comes down to business too, like don't be stupid and lose the sale for no reason. But at the same time, the sale to me, it's not like I'm getting commission,
Yeah.
although I want the people that I work for to make their profit and stuff. I was
Yeah.
like, it was more the sentiment behind this interaction, And I was like, man, I was like, yeah, I'll go check. You know what? I felt inspired on his behalf by his enthusiasm, you know?
Mhm.
Rather than him throwing like a Hail Mary that he didn't even believe himself, you know? And sure enough, we made the sale. He wound up leaving with an awesome fucking gun that was the exact model that he wanted at a way better price than he thought that he could even get off the rip before he even started haggling. And it was like win 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 across the board. And I was just looking at it from an energetic level. And
How
um
much did you sell it for?
450 bucks.
Oh, so the price you wanted.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a win-win-win
Wow.
across the board.
Heck yeah.
And so it's cool though because I was really looking at the energy and trying to play this like almost like passive role where I'm like
Mhm.
indifferent to it. Like I want to help, but I don't want to help for the wrong reason,
Yeah.
you know? And just taking that stance, of trying to maintain virtuousness across the board, the best for everything and everyone involved, and me being indifferent to the fact that I have to go and ask, my employer, hey, can we knock the background fee off for this dude? And it doesn't set a good precedent to business owners generally,
Yeah.
because they don't want people to come in and constantly be haggling if they're not spending money that determines that or that justifies it in their mind, right? But there's something about enthusiasm and being cool, that's a power unto itself, and it really comes back to that whole thing of self-image. And I'm just beginning to kind of observe and understand how self-image works, on deeper levels. Does that make sense?
Yeah. You're a good man, Kemper. You're a good man.
Yes, I am, and I'm getting better.
Heck yeah.
I guess I could even cut that down to, you know, I'm getting better and everything's relative. But we all come from love, and I'm I am a loving man. You know what I mean?
You're a loving hoodlum.
Yeah, that's what I strive to be, bro. A happy one.
Heck yeah.
When you're happy, love is easy.
A
You know
loving,
what I mean?
happy hoodlum. And speaking
Woo!
of a loving, happy hoodlum,
Yeah, and he's
the
got guns out
one,
already.
the only,
The meat castle.
the lumberjack.
Oh shit! Lumberjack
Ooh,
Zack in this bitch. Yes, Lord.
look at that man.
I'm
What's
here.
That's
up?
what I'm
How are
talking
you?
about.
How you been, Zach? It's been a week since you've been on an episode.
Yeah,
What's new?
been a
What's
while.
going on? You're looking spiffy. You're looking good.
Of course. I went and got a passport today, or started that process today.
Woo!
Awesome.
Zack's getting
Did
better and
that.
better. He's powering up.
Oh yeah,
Attaboy.
leveling up, baby. You know the
Mhm.
vibe.
Alright.
That shit was a fucking fiasco and a half, but we got it done.
It's fun, huh? It's a fun process, ain't it?
Nah, dude, like it was it. So first, my dad picks me up from here, and then we drive 45 minutes out to Cascade Locks. And we go from Cascade Locks to Hood River to get my passport photo because apparently we couldn't have Googled a place in Portland. But also, I was just wanted to do my laundry at my parents' house too, so that kind of worked out.
Okay. Heck yeah.
Got the photo taken. Hood River County, like their city hall doesn't do passport applications anymore, so we had
Bro.
to go from there to fucking Stevenson. And then their city hall was closed, so then we had to find the city clerk's office in the county like courthouse in Stevenson. Found that, found out that couldn't pay for it with cash. Had to go to a fucking post office to get a cashier's check or a money order, and
Yeah.
then go back, and then I was able to actually fucking get it. Yeah. So I
Yeah.
was like, fuck.
It was an adventure. For
Dang, you can't pay for it in cash? And we
No, you
paid
have
ours
to
in
pay for it
cash.
with cash, with a
hey,
check. Yeah, I
bro,
don't know.
Dang.
you made it across the bridges of God.
Oh nah. Here you can pay cash, but they make a cashier's check for you. That's what they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you apply at a post office, you can do it that way. But
Yeah.
the place that I was at, they don't make cashier's checks because it's a
Yeah.
courthouse.
Mine was at the post office. And they took
Yeah.
my picture on a cute little Canon or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just got sat down in the middle of a fucking postal annex store with a little fucking like handheld little picture, like
Yeah.
tourist camera, little
Heck
snap,
yeah.
snap, and
Yep.
but the city clerk's office was like, "These are some of the best passport photos we've ever seen. Where'd you get them done?" I'm like, just some random box store."
Heck yeah.
But so that was my day. Just got home.
Well, welcome, dude.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
talking about. You went
fuck
the
yeah,
extra mile.
damn
Also,
straight.
you can be an honorary Canadian and world traveler.
Nah. This man
That's
is
what I'm
not turning
talking about.
Canadian.
My money's about to start smelling like maple syrup.
Oh, come on, man.
Hey, bro, I love it. Shout out to Canadians worldwide.
Hey,
Y'all can
damn
Canadians
be
straight.
worldwide.
the happy Americans.
Yeah.
Our other
The
side of
happy
the line. That's
Yeah.
basically what they are. They're on the other side of the line. Just a bunch of good.
Imagine we
good
make international podcasts from happy Canadians, happy Europeans, like
Happy Hoodlums Canadian. Almost said Canadian.
Canada.
Canada.
Canadians.
Canadian.
Freaking big
But what
toes.
are you guys been talking about? What's up, What's up, bro?
Well, we had a whole
about that, we were talking, but the audio wasn't picking up.
This is a different podcast without you, Zach. Let's just
Yeah.
say that.
We sat-
last
we were sitting here for 20 minutes just talking to ourselves.
week live. You know what I'm saying?
And then someone random just joined and said, "Hey, no audio," and then they left.
Bro.
Well, we had a great talk, and you know what? I summed up everything in maybe like I
Yeah.
don't know that we took 20 minutes to talk about.
Yeah, it was basically we talked about how giving is just a good feeling. So
Yeah, and seed
Facts.
money. I
Yeah.
discovered a book called Seed Money, and they were talking about how Andrew Carnegie um, would give money to people when he would meet them, and that same principle is something that when you give, it reaffirms your faith in yourself being abundant. You know,
Yeah.
and and you become it. It's not just that you have the potential to make money. It's that that you are abundant, that money comes to you, and you don't have to do any worrying about that. The
Yeah.
worry is irrelevant because you're a person of service. And when you seek to give, it makes you more valuable, and that's kind of what we were talking about, and that I've basically taken all these pennies
Yeah.
because my grandma used to like she during the Great Depression when her grandmother died. Before her grandmother died, she was told by her grandma, "Hey, I'm going to send you pennies from heaven to let you know I'm watching over you," right?
Mhm.
And so my grandma always believed pennies were blessings, and she told me she would do the same. And so after hearing that story and my grandma passing when I was like in my teens, I always started picking up pennies. And so I've always collected pennies. I have tons of pennies, and I was going to make literally like pillars and floors and like tables in my house, or like a throne out of like pennies, that I had found
Okay.
because of their energy that they carried as blessings. And now, after discovering this whole concept of like seed money, and it's a biblical concept about tenfold return, that everyone thinks 10x, Grant Cardone, you know, but really it's a biblical thing and something that is just inherent, like the same way equal and opposite reactions is a force in the universe, right? That love is like one of those paradoxes, and the more you try and hold on to it, the less you have, but the more you give it away, the more you get, right?
Yeah.
And it's applying that same concept onto money, you know what I mean? And just allowing it to permeate every interaction in your life. And
Yeah. So
so I've been
sorry.
giving people pennies all day, bro.
Yeah.
I don't
Kemper.
I think it goes deeper than just money. Like back when we did the homeless love project, when we were preparing for that, Craig was even talking about how he just plants seeds by helping people in general, not just by giving them stuff, but just by helping them out or maybe giving them a little bit extra of a service because he's a videographer. So maybe doing a little bit more for them and shit like that. So I think it goes beyond just the monetary shit that you can provide to somebody, but more even just like how you can help them in general. And
Hmm.
I think just being able to help people is something that's super awesome because it's a lot of people think it's kind of easy to help people, but sometimes it's actually really difficult. And it takes like a big piece of you to be able to be like, hey, I'm here to help you, and this is what I'm willing to do for you. And I think that's like super powerful for the people who are able to do it.
Well, that's because we have free will, you know?
Yeah.
And if people do not, and this is what I was saying to Josh, is like the power of self image. If people will not accept something for themselves, you know, even if you're trying to give it, it's not going to work. You know, it will be a rift in the energy. You know what I mean? And either you're going to
Yeah.
drop to their level or you'll stay where you're at and they'll be repelled by you and be like, what the fuck is wrong with that dude? You know? But it's all because, like, and why money is a great example of this, right? We call it currency because it has to flow, right? In order
Mhm.
for it to grow, it's got to flow. Takes money to make money. Everyone's heard that before, you
Yeah.
know? And that giving is basically the beginning of receiving because you're creating room for more, you know? Um, and that when you, it, it infuses you where you become an investor, right? You
Yeah.
don't just know about investing from the outside, you become an investor, you know, and it becomes the investor mind state becomes a part of your self identity, which inherently has in it self fulfilling prophecy of abundance and love and, you know, prosperity by nature. Because, you know, just like an apple seed, I plant the fucking seed, it's going to grow a tree. The tree will have the ability to grow a whole orchard,
Mhm.
you know, and it's that same thing just applied in other areas of your life. So yeah, you can totally take it and do it in different areas and it will happen naturally, and that's because it's part of your essence and your nature to do so at that point, not just
Yeah.
something you do because of factors that check the box, you know what I mean, so to speak.
Yeah. Like you're not helping people to get something back. You're doing it without any condition
Yeah.
in essence. Yeah.
Yes. Hmm. Because you know you are someone who is abundant,
Yeah.
you know? And when you know that, you're a magnet for it, you know, and to the degree that you're willing to allow and accept it, you know. So for some people it may not come directly back in the form of money, it may come in the form of an opportunity, or a relationship that then blossoms into something else, you know. There's all these different avenues of it, and you can observe people's lives and understand their self beliefs, you know,
Mhm.
and the self image that they have based on where they're profitable, you know? And really, it comes down to not only cultivating a self image in your imagination, right? And also attaching a goal to it, right? And when you do those two things, this is what that book, Psycho Cybernetics, was about that I was telling you. When
Yeah.
you do those two things, your subconscious will literally forcefully drive you inevitably to become that, you know? But you do these things, and it's not that they're difficult, but that's when the joy is found in the journey, because you know you're becoming what you envisioned and you chose to envision a good thing, you know. And just the same as that seed contains within itself all the fucking genetic need, all the plans that, if nourished, will express itself in full as the apple and the orchard, right?
Mhm.
um when you receive a thought, by the time that you receive it in that daydream, it carries with it a tactile feeling. And that feeling that it's real is present. You know that that reality does exist, and that's why you can actually feel it in your awareness of yourself. You know, you can feel it with your mind. It's that you are there, you know, even while you're here, right? And so time is irrelevant to that, right? You just have to know that in harnessing the feeling of that reality and cultivating it and living as it is right now, it's done right now, and you know it. because it contains all the plans needed to express itself. And you don't worry about the ordering of the plans, right? You just cultivate the seed, you just water the seed, and you live in that state. Time will align itself to the degree that you accept, you can believe, or hey, it'll take me 3 years to achieve this goal. Well, then it's 3 years for you. For someone else, it may be a shorter time span, or a longer time span. Because once you understand this formula and you start cultivating these things and you start understanding the way manifestation works, you then have more self confidence, you get more creative, you have more faith, which is inner knowing of this me that I choose to be, that I am aware I am, you know, is going to express itself, right? And now I'm planting seeds all over the place and I'm doing so joyfully. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think there's a thing that a lot of people like get misconstrued about the idea of manifestation, and the fact that people think that because someone believes in manifestation, uh they aren't like putting in work, and all they do is just and like people, the misconception is people believe that just because you are attempting to manifest it in your mind that you're not putting in the work to actually do it. And an analogy that I have for that is like manifestation is like steroids, right? If you take it and you don't do anything with it, it you just get gelatinous and fat, and you become the one dude who's just constantly always doing bench press, and you don't look good and you never get stronger. But if you actually take steroids and you do what you're supposed to do and you do it right, you can actually get really fucking jacked. And so if you don't put in the work, even if you are manifesting everything that you want, but you're just like sitting on the couch or you're staying at home all the time and you're not actually doing anything to progress, then that manifestation turns into just a dream and it's nothing. And
Yeah.
so I think manifestation is a powerful tool, but if you don't put in the work to move yourself, like if you don't grab the watering can to water that seed, then you'll never actually grow the seed into a tree and then into an orchard.
Yeah. I think it's really that we don't understand. We oftentimes, we're not really taught what our portion of creation is, you know, and that creation is inevitable. And that's why the more that you observe and become self aware, which is why, like, um, Taoism, right? And
What is Taoism?
like observing nature,
Okay.
and that nature will reveal to you um, the laws of creation, the how things evolve, right? And that really our portion of this is um, it's already done because it's something that's ever happening. Change is the order, right?
Mhm.
And it's conscious change. Consciousness drives change, right? And so, like, logos is like God consciousness that orders all change,
What
right?
is logos?
um that's what I'm saying. It's like change is ordered by God consciousness because change is the natural evolution, but it's ordered for the expansion of everything, for the good of everything, right?
Okay.
And so that's why um it is something that you must allow change to take place, right? So it's
Yeah.
like once you understand that you have this thought, right, and you know that it's real, the work becomes easy because I'm no longer motivating myself through doubt, because
Mhm.
doubt inevitably burns you out, right? And then that disbelief, right, eradicates the feeling, and then you get no fruit because the true fruit of why you're doing what you're doing, the true thing that you're doing it for, is the feeling that you get from it.
Mhm.
You know, that's why you want what you want, because it will give you this feeling and it will amplify this feeling. And really, it's just reflecting this feeling you had before you even encountered it back to you in a visceral way that's like, now it's outside of myself.
Yeah.
Here, it's inside of myself. And it's, oh, I am what I think I am. I am that I am. Self awareness. I am whatever I attach that to and accept for myself. Whatever I can conceive and hear, I know it will be expressed in time as I live in that feeling of it, as that feeling, as that virtue. It will inherently be expressed through me into the world.
Something that like if you were to look at humanity as a whole, not on a microscope, but just on like a grand scale. Like if an
Hmm.
alien, for example, were just to observe humanity from a distance, you
Hmm.
would see uh these creatures that walk around on two legs constantly creating newer and cooler shit all the time.
Hmm.
And it's like that's what you're seeing. And it's like there's just it on every level there's constantly new creations, and it's like even kids are like re-innovating the games that we played as kids, right? It's like there's constantly something new being created and re-innovated and changed and improved or just made differently or cooler. And it's actually something really cool to see is just the world evolving in like a way that it literally does kind of bolster creativity because the most creative people end up being successful.
Hmm. And
And it's something that you
imagination.
see a lot. Like if you see look at, for example, fucking even though he's like the biggest meme lord out of the billionaires in the world, Elon Musk, right? He is a creative mind and he executes on that creativity. As well as like fucking if you look at Steve Jobs or anybody in the tech industry, they had those ideas, they had those the the thought and they created what they thought and then they improved it every single year until what
Mhm.
we have now is we have a mini cinematography camera in our fucking pocket, right? And so
Yeah.
it's really fucking crazy to think about. It's just in general, humanity is a creating organism as a
But,
whole.
but it's not crazy. It's actually the most logical thing in the
Well,
world.
I say crazy as in like that's fucking wild to think about. Not crazy as in like
It's
it doesn't make any
Yeah.
beautiful.
sense and it shouldn't be happening.
We
It's
It's a
just
we
the
beautiful miracle, is what it
yeah,
is.
and it's crazy to think about. It's like, whoa, that's insane. That's like saying like if you were to really be like, hey
But
dude, like
look,
sit here and listen. Hold on, hold on. If you were to
okay,
be like, this is crazy to think about. You take a fucking seed, a legitimate, just like an apple tree seed, and that has the ability to create an actual fucking tree that creates fruit that you can eat and you can get more seeds from it and then create more trees that get more fruit. That's fucking crazy to think about. It's just
but
mind blowing, is what I'm saying. And I'm not saying
this,
it's crazy as in it shouldn't be happening. I'm saying it's crazy in the fact that if you think about it, it kind of blows your fucking mind.
but this is it. This is the realization portion of it. The seed is the tree.
Yeah. Same with like the fucking chicken or the egg. Which one came
yeah.
first?
Like, no, but look,
Like the tree or the seed? Which one came
what,
first, Kemper?
what I'm saying
Yeah.
is
Come
the
on,
whole
chicken or
thing
the egg, bro?
the
Chicken
whole
chicken
thing
or the
about
egg? Pick
calling
one.
it crazy. Shut up. Listen. The whole thing about calling it crazy and why I'm harping on it is because inherently to think that to be astounding is like to be unaware of the worthiness that is you.
Nah, fuck that. I'm admiring what the possibilities are. I fucking think that I can do some great fucking shit. Actually, I know I can do some great fucking shit, but
There you go.
that doesn't mean I can't be like, wow, that's actually pretty fucking crazy that I did that.
But when
It's
you
pretty
know
awesome.
when you
It's
know
pretty
that the
dope.
great shit is already done, that's
Yeah,
what
but
I'm
it's fucking crazy. It's crazy to think about. It's awesome. And I think that's just like our definitions of crazy is just a little different. But it's fucking I think it's crazy and crazy is awesome. Crazy
It's
is like, dude, that's awesome. That's amazing.
it's brilliantly simple, and
Yeah,
it's our
I'm gonna
minds that
talk up
try
the
to
shit that I
complex.
do all the fucking time. Fuck that. I don't care if it's like if I'm not surprised. I'm surprised that I do all the shit that I do already. Why? Because like
Yeah.
I'm a fucking filmmaker who's legally blind. I can't walk through a dark fucking room without some help. Like that's fucking crazy.
What the most beautiful, yes, and I admire you so much for that. But what is the most beautiful portion of this though is dig. The moment that you clarify and ask that you want a thing,
Hold
by
on,
the
repeat
time,
that sentence because that made no sense to me.
look, when you have this vision and say, I want that, right?
Okay. Yeah.
It is yours. It exists. That you created that. You now
And
have
that's
that
crazy.
because it's a piece of you in your consciousness. You
Yeah.
are aware of it, right? And look, by the time that it gets to you in a better form than when you asked for that fucking shit.
That's facts.
But it is exactly what you asked for. That is what is
Hey,
astounding.
can I just
And I
Is
say
think
that
one thing?
astounding is
Hey,
crazy.
hey,
Crazy
hey.
and astounding are the two are like fucking like this in my mind.
Hey,
They're
all
the
we're
same
doing
thing.
here, we're just going back and forth about chicken or the egg, cedar tree, like
Hey, say
giving.
something new then, Josh. What the fuck is on your mind?
I'm pregnant.
Sick. That's new. Wait, is this the first time you're telling? You haven't even posted it on Instagram or anything yet?
Yeah,
well
bro.
said.
Yeah, here's
That
the
was the
wild.
perfect analogy.
You see it? It's there.
No, it's an analogy. Because literally, look, like what does the Virgin Mary simplify?
What came first, the baby or
The
Josh?
chicken.
Who like?
Self-birth.
Oh,
Like
that went over y'all's
knowing that
heads.
you're
Oh
pregnant
my
with something. It's a thought. It's
man.
biblical in a metaphor. Like the Bible is the ultimate metaphor to explain conscious evolution of the self.
My
Ever written.
man. I said a joke and it went right over y'all's head.
Yeah, it was a bad joke because now you have to explain it for it to be funny.
Yeah, I
No,
know.
you don't have to explain it. I get it.
I'll just. What was the joke then?
What
you're
came
pregnant,
first,
bro.
Josh or the baby?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just whatever. Now fucking now you stalled us. You fucking hit the e-brake. You're like,
Let's make
I'm
this
going
shit
to the
boring
galaxy,
again.
son. You guys, I got about 5 more minutes. But really
What?
just coming to understand the nature of observation,
Mhm.
and that it
Yeah.
reveals that all things are one and that things are truly done in the moment that you already realize them. And
Like
to
me
the
saying
nature
that.
you can
We
accept that, bro.
like
The world is your oyster, bro.
if I didn't say nothing,
Facts.
you wouldn't have known that you had 5 minutes left until your class.
Yeah,
Ain't that
bro, I gotta
crazy?
go.
Ain't that crazy?
sure.
Well,
Man, what a lovely friend group I have here. Love you guys. Yeah.
honestly, we
Love
had
too,
a
bro.
fantastic
That's one way to put
podcast.
it.
Perhaps the best part of this podcast was unrecorded, and that's the most hilarious part of it all.
Yeah.
That is the most
The-
fucked up part of it all.
Yeah. It was a great
Tell me
intro. It
what's
was a fire first 20 minutes. And then after that, I was like, yep, I'm never going to speak again.
This is hold on.
Straight
I'm
down.
never
dude.
guys, hold on. Let me reassure you. I'm never gonna miss another episode.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I can dig it.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Because of this motherfucker.
Hey,
It's all love though.
I just
Yeah.
want to say, bro, look, Oh, you need the love back. There you go.
Oh, we
But-
missed you, Zach. We're glad you're back.
Josh, show
Thanks,
the
bro.
people your shirt because everybody be talking about some normal shit. This is edgy, bro. He's out here living
Legalize eating ass, baby.
Hide your moms.
life. All right. So
Hide your kids. I'm just,
Hey, walk the
it.
talk, bro. Walk the. Oh my god.
no.
Yo, walk the talk, Josh. Walk the talk, motherfucker.
Oh, shit. Well, folks,
What
that's
came
where-
first, the mom or the baby?
Oh man. Oh, this is great. This is why we get together on
Holy
Thursday
moly.
night, folks. Really on the
it's a Friday. It's a Friday.
Oh,
Today's
fuck.
Friday.
Well,
Yeah,
until next
Thursday.
time, I love you guys. I gotta bounce.
All right,
Hey,
deuces.
Cam.